This NASCAR Daytona 2024 weekend betting recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Gametime, your home for the lowest prices and last-minute tickets. Download the Gametime app and use promo code SGPN for $20 off. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdog's Pick'em for a chance to win 100x. Promo code SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com for a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
What's going on, everybody? It is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and as we speak, Jeb Burton once again spinning out.
Golden Carroll getting into the grass again.
The Golden Corral is really getting some airtime tonight, that is for sure. We are here, we are live, and we are breaking down the last, 18 laps now of the Xfinity race. For those of you who are listening on the traditional podcast, thanks for joining into our normal recap episode, but this is not a normal recap.
It's going to sound a little weird on the podcast as we react to things happening here in live time,
which is fine because we are getting off of the Daytona Monday. We have the 500, we have the trucks. We already talked about the trucks a little bit in the last episode on Friday, but we'll break down the Cup Series results from today. And then we'll also sweat the last 16 laps of this Xfinity race. We've got some bets up front, but first checking in the chat, Ty Tiger saying sweat, sweat, sweat. Yes, indeed.
Oh, we got some sweating going on at the front of this field. We got some tickets hanging out there. That's our, buddy. We're going to be sweating this one to the end, I think.
We will. Jugs checking in saying, let's talk about some racing things. We definitely will be talking about some racing things. And listen, for those of you who are in the Discord, you know that tomorrow's show is going to have a different quote for that. So we'll talk racing things, but we've also got a different quote to get in there. So, all right, Cody. So far,
good quotes this week.
We've had some fantastic quotes this week. So far, it's been an exciting weekend. Obviously, the Daytona 500 itself ended in an unceremonious way as far as endings go. But hey, at least we got the damn racing in. What is it about Mondays that are so crystal clear?
First of all, 800 miles in a single day. We should do this more often. I don't want rain delays.
Yes, please.
But I do like this full evening of racing. It's been a lot of fun. Daytona 500, all the buildup. We got to wait till Monday already. And then just the most anticlimactic ending ever. And, it's great to see Mr. H get a win. It's really great to see the 24 car get a win in with the driver that succeeded Jeff Gordon, the guy who got in the 24 as soon as Jeff Gordon got. No, it's not. How is this a Daytona 500 broadcast on Fox, main Fox, and multiple people, Mike Joy and I forgot her name, but she also said it.
Jamie Little.
Yes, Jamie Little. Sorry, Jamie. They both said in the driver who succeeded Jeff Gordon in the 24, like Chase Elliott didn't run the 24 car for 2 years after Jeff Gordon retired. What do we know what the word succeeded means? To follow. What? Anyways. That just annoyed. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, first of all. And then second of all, who's in charge of the yellow flag button for this race?
Oh my God.
Rod,
Yeah.
if you've got a pack coming to the end of the Daytona 500, what happens at the end of every single super speedway race in the history of super speedway racing, let alone the Daytona 500? They're going to wreck. So you hover over the button like this, and the second a car gets squirrely, just like that, you smash the button, you put out the fucking caution flag, and you give us a chance to end the race under green.
Yeah.
What are we
again,
doing?
I think we need reflex checkers for these guys. Like maybe they had a sip of their beer in their hand. Maybe they had something going on. Maybe they were
plenty of time to drink beer on Sunday. Plenty of time to drink beer for the first 495 miles.
I'm getting
Ross got his beer there.
I'm sweating out the rest of this one for sure, man. This is a typical Monday night racing things. No, listen, and maybe just maybe, I don't know. These guys, you're right. They need to pay more attention at the end of a race because honestly, what else? Like you said, what else happens?
You know something is going to happen, and there was time. I jumped off of the couch screaming, yellow, 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 yellow. Like and I got 4 yellows out by the time I was pushing the button on my couch to turn the yellow light on. How do you miss it at the fucking racetrack?
That's what happened, Cody. You hit the on your app
green button. I hit the wrong one.
You hit the yellow on your app, but it took a couple seconds to get all the way up into Daytona.
It's not Xfinity 10G anymore. Now it's Xfinity
it's 5G.
So I think the connection was a little delayed, but like it was such an anticlimactic ending to what was a great race. I mean, and least caution since 2004. I think it was like 5 caution flags. 2 of those were stages, which we didn't even have in 2004. So there was that part of it. It was a big letdown. I wanted to see Corey LaJoie obviously get a chance to win it. Now, maybe he wouldn't have cashed the top 5 for us, which he did cash, which was great. But man,
I mean, look, there's so much that was going on all night long as far as the action on the track. And like you said, I like it better when Daytona doesn't have nearly as many cautions because it does play out a lot more better.
Depending on which bets you want to hit, Rob.
That is true. If you want the full-on chaos bets, then for sure. But no, I mean, again, we kind of had a nice smattering of stuff that was happening and enough to keep us interested up and down the field because there's a lot of, back to the backs that went to the front. Denny Hamlin did Denny Hamlin things, right? Where he ducked out. He was like, nope.
Oh, yeah. What? They showed that graphic. Minus 30 spots since the green flag. And it's like, yeah, because he said, peace out. See you guys later. Yeah. Goes to the back. They are about to go back to the green flag here it's going to be 13 laps to go when they take the green flag in the Xfinity race. Ryan Sieg still winning. Riley Herbst right there. Sage Karam is looking to cash that top Toyota. This is only going to end badly. If you're holding all these tickets that we gave out, congratulations. Take a picture right now of the running order. Tell your friends this is what happened. They'll believe you because it's about to all just go to complete shit.
Yeah, it's about.
This is how super speedway racing works. But
with 13 to go when they dropped the green flag. I mean, yeah. So set the stage for the last 14. Sieg, like you said, Herbst, Custer, Karam, Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, Allgaier, Jones, Creed, and Ryan Truex in the top 10 right there.
Allmendinger, not Allgaier.
Allmendinger. Well, Allgaier is in.
Allgaier's 11th. He's not very far back.
He's right there. Hill with the patched up car, and that's the thing about it, man. This has been a hell of a run for Hill. He
looks like Kyle Busch earlier. How many times are you gonna go back and find your way back to the front? And he's probably about to do it again. He's 18th. It looks like on this restart. He just went in. Was it this caution or the last one?
No, it was this one because he got 4 tires.
Yeah, and he thought he had a tire going down. He did. So yeah, this will be fun. I guess they canceled the going back to green flag. They're going one more lap.
Nick wants to know where the call-in line is so he can wind to Cody about it.
It's not as easy as we had hoped to add a call-in line.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I'll get there. I promise I will.
We got to work on some things, but let's go back up through the chat here too and get caught up. Nick did say Daytona 500 ending was crap. I got a couple preaches from Granite Pro. Jugs, thank you. Appreciate it. I was going on my soapbox there. Brian checking in. Brian Twining. Congrats on LaJoie kicking ass at Daytona. And go Justin Allgaier. Wearing my 7 hat for both of your 7s there. See, it works out for JA too.
It does.
JDK said Chastain looked really good in the 500. He did. He looked great. One of my outright picks obviously didn't cash, but he was leading, with 8 to go when they took that last green flag there. So yeah. Oh, Daryl checking in. Go Byron. He's a big William Byron fan. Daryl, one of 2 people in our contest, our Daytona 500 contest, that had the correct answer, Rod. So we're going to have to do a tiebreaker later to determine who gets the prize with them. So stay tuned, as we did have a tie there. Nick says, ticked off, Larson survived the big crash. I will give props to Kyle Larson. He finished, I think, 11th place. So, there is it? Oh, I thought it was.
But he still finished worse than in Underdog. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Worse than an Underdog. I had the Bowman matchup head to head with him. So was still, he beat Corey LaJoy. Sorry, CT. I know. I got to give you crap for that, right? So, all right, Rod, get the commercial in before they go back. I don't know why why are we back? Let's go. Somebody
we're about
in
to
the comments. Fill us in. No, they just turned the lights on the pace car back on.
Oh, they did. Well, then fine. That's perfect
Tell
timing.
Us what they're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about Gametime. Buying tickets sucks. And if you tried to buy Daytona 500 tickets and, let's say you got junked out of it and you're like, oh, man, I need to buy, or let's say you didn't buy Daytona 500 tickets and you knew it was the race came on Monday and you were like, oh, I can do Monday because it's a holiday. So guess what? You wanted to buy tickets, but you're like, oh, man, these are last minute tickets. Well, guess what? If you used Gametime, you were able to buy those tickets without the stress because you got the Gametime guarantee. You bought the tickets. They were on time. They were guaranteed. You got lower fees. You got better prices. And you got all of that on your phone. Plus, if you got there early enough, you got a picture of what that seat was going to look like for you. I know that I hate buying tickets. I hate buying last-minute tickets. I tried one time to buy a last-minute ticket to a concert, and I got gouged. I got charged like 4 times what I was going to do. And I did it because, I wanted to see the show. So now with Gametime, I don't have to do that anymore. So you can too. Snag the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code SGPN for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Just talked about Underdog, how Kyle Larson was exactly the way it was supposed to be. Chris Bell, exactly the way it was supposed to be. Denny Hamlin blew it for me. That's right. Underdog has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NBA, NHL, college basketball, NASCAR, F1. Simply pick higher or lower, better or worse on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. You can win 100x with some spicy plays. I gave you my favorite Underdog play, and it hit. Was Kyle Larson. So definitely we'll give you more of those as the week goes on. So watch along, make your picks, maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog's going to double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Okay, we are about to go green.
They're taking the green with 11 to go. It'll be, apparently there was cardboard on the track.
Oh,
debris. That's why that's why they kept it up. Wow, Herbst is really hanging back on this restart. Boy, we've got some serious tickets to sweat out in the front of this. So this is the one, let's let this go green to the last lap and throw a caution way too early and just finalize this lineup right where it's at. I would be perfectly fine with that. But
hold on, I want to address Rod drinking beer out of a mason jar. No, it's actually a 5-window cup. It looks really great. I love this thing.
Ooh, it's not your fancy little cup. What kind of beer are you drinking tonight, Rod?
I have got the Big Haze from Sierra Nevada. It's a double hazy, so it's really good. Anyway, so again, with the Daytona 500 out of the way, right? We did cash a few good tickets, and of course now Cole Custer and Riley Herbst jetting out for the win. Just let's talk about the overall flow of it, and of course, how I want to just punch walls because I did it again, Cody. I picked the fastest freaking cars in the entire field, just like I did in the trucks. And guess what? Nothing. I'm so pissed off that all of my bets just crumpled before me, and it was a bad day.
Rod, I have figured out that so far through the first 2 races, wow, that looks really scary. They're going 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe. Oh boy. Through the first 2 races, we've had a 65 to 1, a 20 to 1, and a 150 to 1, all finish in the top 5. So really hoping that we can get one here today. Riley Herbst is out front now. But yes, anyways, back to the Daytona 500. Yeah, again, it was like we were really close on a few things. There were some things, I mean, the David Reagan bets, like how great did those look throughout the whole day? He was hanging around up there for a while. Justin Haley was in second place in a, oh no, Riley Herbst get a penalty. Oh no, God damn it. What did he get a penalty for? Oh, fill us in the comments. We don't have any sound on here. So Riley Herbst, the restart penalty, probably for holding, because he was laying back on the restart, motherfucker.
He did hold back on the restart. I definitely.
Hopefully, oh boy, Chandler Smith to the lead here. So wow, that's really freaking sad. And they're wrecking. Oh, there they go. Whoa.
I'm on like a 2-second delay.
There goes Allgaier. He's trashed. Custer's trashed.
There goes my 2 outrights. Screw that. I'm good.
Okay, well, that's going to give us some more time to talk about the Daytona 500 because, God, right? Oh, Jordan Anderson is second. Oh my God, he came out of nowhere, Rod. Oh, buddy. Jordan Anderson. Let's see. What do we have Jordan Anderson at?
You have Jordan Anderson.
I haven't even seen Jordan Anderson this entire race.
You have Jordan Anderson in the top Chevy.
60-1 to win, 40-1 top Chevy. Oh boy. Let's run this all the way down. Green, white checkered to end it. All right. So we start recapping the Daytona 500 bets while we go for 3-hour commercial break on the caution flag here.
Before we lose all of our, I tell you what, let me do this. Let me do this first, and then we can go completely on and go.
Get our last commercial break out of the way, and it'll be commercial free after this break. Right? Is that what they say? Commercial free to the end. Presented by whoever you're about to say.
Presented by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use promo code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. As we go commercial free till the end of the show.
Thank you,
let's
Hall
talk
of Fame
about
Bets by the way.
Thank you, Hall of Fame Bets. Let's talk about that Daytona 500. We had, like I said, so many bets that I feel like I should have cashed that didn't. But where do we start, Cody?
Yeah, so we'll start with the number one commandment, right? Fade Kyle Larson, and it didn't go exactly always to plan because Larson did end up having a solid day, and he looked good throughout the race, just as we said he would. You figure he gets caught up late, and he did get caught up in one of those, but it's he ends up surviving at the end and getting the 11th place finish. So again, props to Kyle Larson. That's a very, very solid day for him, but I did have Alex Bowman over him, even money over on Superbook, and that one cashed. Obviously, Alex Bowman, if they'd have waited one little split second longer to hit that caution button, Alex Bowman could potentially be the Daytona 500 champion. So, but Alex Bowman does beat Kyle Larson, and so the streak continues and extends, and we'll be back on it again next week. Actually, I think this almost worked out perfectly because we cashed the head-to-head bet. Larson has a decent finish and a good run. That's going to put him back up there against some bigger names. We're going to hammer it. He's been, I'll have to look again because I don't have it right in front of me, but I think he's been even worse at Atlanta than anywhere. So I think he's had some pretty bad finishes there. So we'll keep up on that, but it did pan out this week. Alex Bowman over Kyle Larson.
And look, you called and you always call it. He's going to be up front. He's going to lead laps. He's going to do good things during the course of the race. He's going to end up looking like you're wrong about calling him out for super speedways, but then he's going to just settle back into mediocrity or even worse. So yeah, he had a great top finish.
Four races at Atlanta, 31st, 31st, 13th, and 30th. So
please give us.
We'll be right back on that next week.
Yeah, indeed. No, but again, it's just I that's still the number one commandment. I know that people love to hate on that rule, but that's just the way it is. Outside of the top 10 finishes still.
By the way, I have to update the statistic now, right? He was 1 for 41 going into this week on top fives. He's now 1 for 42. So again, stats don't lie.
My first bet was Josh Berry as a top 10 car. That didn't happen. Poor Josh Berry. Like he had a pretty decent car. He was running up front, right? That 4 car had its time in the sun until it didn't, right? It was super speedway racing.
Real quick to catch up on the chat real fast. Herbst is not done. He just has to restart at the end of the field for this restart. So that's the penalty. Which he's not out of it by any means. I mean, one more wreck and he's right back up there. So it's not completely over. But all right, keep going. Sorry, Rod.
Oh yeah, no worries. The 4 car had its time in the sun. It was doing pretty good for a hot minute, and then of course it just ended. And Josh Berry got caught up, and we were done. But I will say, keep your eyes open though for that 4 car. I mean, I don't know super speedway racing, but I have a feeling that we may not be done talking about that 4 car in certain situations this season. And he did put a pretty decent showing in at the beginning of the race. He just got Daytona'd, in my opinion. And he kind of put himself into a bad situation too. But by the same token, he really did look good at the beginning of that race, which a lot of good drivers didn't. So you got to give him credit for that. So I don't know. I'll maybe look at him a top 10, maybe later in the season, depending on what he does for the better part of the beginning. But yeah, this just didn't pan out.
Yeah, it's hard to take too much from a super speedway race. Did pit backwards at one point, so that was pretty cool. It's always fun to see that. But boy, we are going in. This is gonna be overtime by the time we get this cleaned up. Jesus, what a mess. Okay, next up for me, I had let's go with AJ Allmendinger. Yeah, talk about heartbreak right here, Rod. They throw the delayed caution flag, and the board says AJ Allmendinger 5th place. I'm celebrating. I'm jumping up and down. And then they fixed it and gave Bubba the 5th place finish, which some people in Discord had. So shout out to you. But that took away my AJ Allmendinger 850 plus 850 to finish in the top 5. AJ Allmendinger is him when it comes to super speedway racing. Again, he's a secret weapon. He's always there, specifically in the Daytona 500. That's the 3rd Daytona 500 in a row he's finished in the top 6 that he's run. Of course, it was last year, and then 2018 was the previous one to that. Fantasy Racing Cheat Sheet, by the way, saying Barry won't be the SHR savior. They need a bigger name. I agree. He won't be. I agree.
No. But he won't. But this won't be the last time we talk about him, though. That's the thing. I think he's going to be all right. But
might be the last time
that you talk about him.
Yeah. What, Nick? I know Nick's saying Bubba did run out of gas, but then he hold on. They didn't update the finishing results, did they?
I don't think.
Oh yeah, he was scored 5th. Yeah, because he ran out of gas, but that was right when one of the cautions was coming out, and then it all worked out in his favor. So I think that was the previous caution that led into that, or whatever the deal was. So he recovered and finished 5th. So he unfortunately, and then AJ finished 6th. So real close on that one. Again, the thought process was right. It's the right, like I mentioned on the truck recap show, whatever day we did that, was that Saturday. We don't just give out random guys just to give out random guys. Like, you're targeting certain people for reasons. And as we continue to see, as you see here, I mean, even in this race, no matter how this goes, Jordan Anderson's leading the race with 5 to go. Ryan Sieg is, holy shit, Austin Hill's back at the 3rd already.
Dude, Austin Hill, I'm telling you, he's going to catch that top 3.
Ryan Sieg up here. Riley Herbst was just up here. Like, we give out guys for certain reasons. Spencer Boyd, 150 to 1. He finished in the top 5 in the truck race. So we circle guys for certain reasons. You saw that with David Reagan. Gave him out top 10, or top 5 rather, at 10 to 1, top 3 at 22 to 1. He was hanging with the big dogs the majority of the day, just constantly up in the mix there. Looked like he was going to have a nice, strong, solid day. Ends up 20th at the end of the day, again, with the chaos of the finish there. Guys shot back quickly, depending where they were and everything. But he was in it the whole race, in it till the end there, constantly up front. So I would definitely place both these bets on Reagan again. So again, while these didn't pan out, they just they still were the right decision. Daryl asking why we didn't pick William Byron in the Cup race. I'll tell you why. I've got a statistic here. Where'd it go? Here we go. Before tonight, the best finish William Byron has ever had in the Daytona 500, 21st place. So that's why we didn't pick him, because he's not got in. He's been good on super speedways, right? He's won, I think, twice at Atlanta. He's won at Daytona before in the fall race, but in the 500, he's not been good. So really, The numbers weren't there. The statistics weren't there. Again, it's not one of those guys I'm real sad that I missed because I don't feel like he's a guy. And I mean, they're at the right place at the right time. That's what we always say, right? But not like he was up there the whole time. He kind of, I don't know that he triggered. I think Alex Bowman more triggered the other wreck that took out half the field that kept him up there. But and yeah, Ty Tiger saying they're all DNF. So yeah, he's just not gotten there to this race. I mean, going from 20, what did I say, 21, 26, being the best ever to all of a sudden winning the thing, that's quite the jump. So again, that's one of them where it's like if Larson wins, where you're just not sad if you miss it because it's just how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, I know, and I see all the receipts out there for people that called out Byron, and that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
our guys that win the race had him. All those guys over there had him. Shout out to them. A ton of people had him, which is great. We love to see it. Even if we don't have the ticket, if we see other bettors hitting it, that's great. If you hit something we didn't have, we love it. And Steven saying Byron should have won so many other cars, just luck. But that's what we tell you about super speedway racing is, how much of it is just luck. And Daryl saying they had strategy to hang back. And yeah, but I mean, he was right there in that wreck at the end and, survived it. Obviously it was part of triggering it, but that's how super speedway racing goes. And, if Jordan Anderson wins this race here in a second, you're going to say, well, it was just luck, but I'll give a fuck if it was luck or what if I hit these big tickets. I'll take all the luck I need to cash tickets like that. So that's how it goes. That's how super speedways are, and just how it goes. But back to the Dinger Reagan thing. Again, good bets. They both had chances. Dinger was real close, one spot out of hitting it. So I would place these bets again. And looks like we're about to go back to green flag with 3 to go, Rod.
That's going to be a hell of a sweat. Well, then this will be a good time for me to talk about mine, where I had John Hunter Nemechek as a top 10 car at plus
ding,
290.
ding.
Hell yeah, baby. Look, it doesn't matter how it happened. But him and Eric Jones finished inside the top 10. I should have given out Eric Jones as a top 10 car, but it was John Hunter.
You went the wrong other legacy guy.
The wrong pair, yeah. I had John Hunter at plus 290, and then I had Jimmy at plus 300. I just feel bad for Jimmy. I love
Jimmy's
that.
stage. I mean, he was in that. What was it? What did they wreck on lap 3?
It was lap 3.
The Cup race was worse than the ARCA race.
It was 3 laps in, and
as far as the early wreck, and then they, which is crazy to think they wrecked that early, and then still was the lowest amount of caution since 2004. So
yeah,
I guess they made up for it. But
after that one, they all calmed down. They all just said, you know what, that was too much of a big one to start this race, so we're just going to chill out. But Jimmy unfortunately got caught up in that one, and I want to know how his day would have went because, man, if both of his other cars were in the top 10, he could have easily been up there. I know he had to go to he started in the back, right? But he was still managing to kind of, I don't know. I feel like he would have been able to do well. He was riding around, looking good, having a good time for 2.5 laps, and then that was it. But, again, for me, I'm going to always put Jimmy Johnson somewhere in the mix because damn it, his luck's got to change, and for John Hunter Nemechek, though, good on him. Those legacy boys, 4 Toyotas in the top 10. That's not bad. 4 out of 9.
For only having 9 in the race out of 40 cars. I mean, the number's not really on their side, and they had a great day. And they were up there throughout all 3 manufacturers had their times, right? Chevy had their times, and they obviously win. Ford was leading a good part of the race. We are going green flag. 3 to go. Oh, boy. Jordan Anderson on the outside. Chandler Smith on the inside.
Cody, how many Fords were in the top 10?
Am I supposed to guess or am I supposed to look?
Oh, no. There was like two Fords. Remember I told you that there was the over under 4.5 Fords in the bonus bets?
Mention that. Yep.
So I hit that one.
You did hit that one. Good job. Yeah. We didn't really write down any of the bonus bets, but that's okay. Let's see. Next up for me, I did take the stabs at the top Toyotas. I had Bubba Wallace plus 550. I had Ty Gibbs plus 700. They both got caught up in that late wreck, the one before the final one. So Bubba was up there throughout the day. Very impressive, kind of, in the front pack a majority of the evening. So if Austin Hill wins this race, just how can anyone stop him? We got that question.
And I think
we're going to
get the answer right now. I think we're going to get the answer.
I think we're really close. Cool. Yeah, they're about to take the white flag and then just throw the caution because fuck it, right? But all right, this is where you have your hand on the finger, right? Your finger on the button.
Finger on the
Get
yellow.
Ready, because if they wreck right here, you hit the fucking button And then we actually get to maybe try to finish this race. So
We got 2
we'll
to go.
see. Oh, here we make it. Oh, Brandon Jones. We got some bets on Brandon Jones making moves. Oh, big block. Oh, here we go.
You know what? You know what sucks? I'm like a half a second
Are
behind
you?
you. Yeah, because I'm streaming it on my laptop in my office. So
I have to wait. I have to wait a half a second to do everything.
No, you have to wait like 10 seconds before you do the thing. And listen, for those of you listening on the traditional podcast, we love you. Thanks for hanging with us, because sometimes listening to this when it's not live, maybe you'll feel the excitement and the anticipation of this last one, as we got 1 to go for the Xfinity race. They're coming around
why
the
does
bend.
Austin Hill have to be in a fucking Chevy?
Hill
Jordan
and
Anderson's
Creed.
not- Anderson. Where'd Anderson go? He fell back. Oh, they're wrecking.
Hill
It's
and Creed.
Sieg. No. Where's the yellow flag? Oh, so we're not throwing the yellow flag for this one? Oh, okay. We're gonna race.
They're
back to the
wrecking.
line.
Yeah, they are racing back to the
Big
line.
wreck. There goes Sieg. God.
Austin Hill wins it, cashes that top 3. Although what's funny is that Sheldon Creed now is in second place at this point. So
The former RCR teammates. Well, they're still. The leaderboard's got to be wrong. They're showing Sieg is third. Is he not? Didn't he wreck?
he did wreck. Maybe when the time of the caution came out, he was
Fucking
third.
Austin. Oh yeah, there he goes. Oh, Jordan Anderson finished third, but why do we have to take him top Chevy? God damn it!
Because Sheldon Creed is top Chevy.
No, Austin Hill's the top Chevy.
No, Austin Hill's
Son
a
of
Ford.
Bitch. No, he's a Chevy. He's an RCR car.
Oh, Chevy. I mean, I'm thinking about Toyota. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man.
Austin Hill
Herbst
wins
got
it.
all the way back to 6th. Oh no.
I wish
He
Custer
got
would have
back
stuck
to 6th and not 5th place. Oh my goodness, just absolute heartbreak. Wow, we were so close on so many of these bets and just got
Nick
fucked
Fortune
up.
hit Anderson as a top 3, so there you go.
Oh, there we go. Shout out to Nick Fortune. Come on, man. Oh, we were so close to some really big ones this weekend, Rod.
Well, here's the
God.
unofficial finish to the truck race as we go. Hill,
Xfinity
Creed,
race.
Xfinity rather. Shit, trucks. Hill, Creed, Anderson, Retzlaff. Ooh, Retzlaff. Parker. Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst, John Hunter, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, and AJ Allmendinger. So we'll talk about which bets we hit there. But let's finish up the Daytona now that this is all fresh in our skull.
Okay. Anyways, let's wrap up Daytona.
Yes. let's-
I had the top Toyota guys. Yeah, didn't work out. Next.
And then I had Ty Gibbs as a top 5 car, just like Cody had said earlier. Ty Gibbs got caught up in that earlier, and there's no way you could do it. So I love it. Beer kicking in. Yeah, right. I mean, it is
need more beer after this. Yeah.
It is 8.5.
Oh,
So anyways, yeah, I had Ty
brutal
Gibbs
to lose these late.
plus 375. Shit. Welcome to my world, man. What are you talking about? Like, that's all my whole life.
Time on these super, and like we get them so right. That's what sucks. Is like Jordan Anderson was the right call. Ryan Sieg was the right call. Riley Herbst was the right call, and we still didn't hit any of these fucking bets. God.
Well, I'll get to my right calls here in a second. Get to your next one.
Next up for me, I had Justin Haley top 10 at plus 290. This one was actually looking pretty solid, right? He was having a nice solid day. He was running up there. And then he ended up having some mechanical issues, fuel pump, I think it was. So it doesn't cash the top 10. Had him to win Group E, which this one was looking pretty solid, plus 240. Burton goes out immediately. He's the first car out, so he's out. Johnson gets caught up in that first wreck, and he doesn't really recover too much. Gregson was the other key one in this, and he ends up with a top 10 finish, so shout out to him, ending up in 9th place. So a good finish there by Noah Gregson. So that was neither of those cash, but again, I think we saw Rick Ware can do it here on these super speedways, right? They were strong with Justin, and we had a mechanical issue, so there's maybe part of that. But JDK says SVG. Where did SVG finish? Oh, 12th. Wow. Okay, I just want to say shout out to SVG. Hey man, it's his first plate race because you're not going to count the ARCA race where he only ran 3 laps. So props to him. That's awesome. Again, I would never bet on that because he'd never been on one before, but that's solid finish. He did cause like 4 wrecks in this race.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Lucky for him, he wasn't really caught up in any of them, so there is that.
He didn't get it. He didn't come out completely unscathed, but definitely, yeah. All right, well then for me, the frustration begins here. I had Joey Logano as a top 3 car at plus 400. Cody, tell me where Joey Logano was running most of this race.
Oh, I believe Joey Logano led the most laps, didn't he?
Joey Logano was the first car in the line of several laps. I'm not even going to go back and look how many because I don't want my heart broken all over again. But Joey Logano leading so much of it. And then, look, not just leading it, but leading it and then falling back into the middle of the pack to come back again to the front of the pack to lead. That dude was a man on a mission all day long. Joey Logano's fast. We need to buy into this damn even year Joey Logano thing because I guarantee you right now there is going to be some sparks. But here's the thing. This pissed me off because this was one that just got ripped out. This, Cody, was your last lap devastation for me. I watched as Joey Logano got taken out in that wreck, and I wanted to throw my computer at my TV and completely destroy two different things at once. Then I need to do my job. So that was frustration. And at 4-1, remember I was saying to you that's way too large of a number for a Joey Logano top 3. And it was cashing all day long.
Yeah, you got
it wasn't.
That's a really good number for being a top guy, right? And for being one of the top guys on the board to get a plus 400 for a top 3, and he was running up there all damn day. So yeah, that's man, yeah. And switch Austin Hill's inevitable, I guess. So you can't. What was he plus 240 to win this? I mean, it's irresponsible to make that bet on a super speedway. I don't care that he won. You saw how many times he got caught up in the wreck. You saw how many times he goes to the back. He has a flat tire. He goes to the back again. I know he fought his way up there. I know he got it done, but you cannot bet on that number. Myron checking in. Jordan Anderson top 5 plus 650.
Good job.
Hell yes.
Good job,
I'm glad
Myron.
some of you people. Why I didn't take a Jordan Anderson top 5 in my official picks, I don't know.
But listen, this is why we tell you that when we are high on somebody like that, it is not a bad option to go and look at these top 5s, top 3 markets to sort of spread it out a little bit because, yeah, he didn't hit the top Toyota. But like you just said, like Myron just said, at plus 650 as a top 5, we are not giving you picks just to give you picks. We are trying to get you to think about these drivers in a more analytical way to get you to place the bets on your own. The picks are merely guides as to what we think is going to happen in this race and the drivers that we think you should watch. So do we think you should bet our picks? Sure. It'd be nice if you did, or if you didn't, whatever. I don't care. My job is not to feed you the picks. My job is to teach you how to make these picks yourself. And like Myron said, he took the top 5 on him. Nick did the same thing, right? Took a top 3 on him or a top 5, or JDK took a top 5 on him. So there you go. Right. So how can we get you to drink better beer? Come on now.
He lives in California. You got to give him a break.
Sierra Nevada's got some pretty. Hey, listen, I drink much better beer. This was a holdover from the Super Bowl. I brought it home with me because I didn't drink it there. So, yeah, that's why.
Ooh, I just found out I had a nice day in DraftKings for Xfinity. So hell yeah, I'll take that.
Wait, Daryl, I want it. Daryl, find me on Untapped. That's what I want you to do, Daryl. Find me on Untapped.
Daryl's Untapped is just White Claw, Truly, and Miller Lite. Trust me, I know Daryl. That's about all that's on his Untapped.
I love it. Nick Fortune one more time says he listened to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, old fashioned, and heard Cody say Jordan Anderson top 5. So there we go. I think you said that.
Well, if I said it, then I said it. Good for me. Then I cashed that.
All right, let's finish up with the Daytona 500.
The Corey LaJoie car lift, baby. All right, look, I understand some people don't like how much you talk about Corey LaJoie. I got the Corey LaJoie hat I'm sporting tonight. I got the picture, but this is why, because he fucking did it. He had a chance to win this race at the end. He was this close to the top 3 and really getting this car lift going, but still a nice solid day. He cashes the top 10 plus 290. Easy peasy. Top 5, 8-1. 1 spot, inches from being in front of Christopher Bell, getting that top 3 at 18-1. I don't just give it out for shits and giggles. It's because he has won. I don't think there's any driver who's won me more money than Corey LaJoie on super speedways. I've been betting Corey LaJoie on super speedways since I've been betting on NASCAR, and 250-1 we almost hit a couple years ago right at Atlanta, but there's been so many times he's hit the top Chevy bet and it's 33-1, or top 10s all the time, top 5s, top 30. He gets these, he does it. And guess who I'm betting on next week, Rod? Corey LaJoie. We're going to ride the car lift again. Hopefully they don't adjust the numbers too much, but he ends up there all the time, and Atlanta's his best of the places. You do it for a reason. So Cashes the top 10 plus 290. Cashes the top 5 at 8-1. Close on the top 3 at 18-1. Top Chevy 25-1. Obviously, 2 Chevys finished in front of him, and Byron and Bowman. So wasn't going to hit that. 65-1. He's live at the end. Had a chance. Maybe if that race goes to overtime, not saying that he's going to win it, but he's got a chance to. He made it through that wreck at the end, obviously. And Austin Cindric's dumbass fucking block. I understand you got to block coming to the last lap of the 500, but eventually at some point after you've swerved back and forth 14 times, pick a fucking lane and get out of the way. So Corey LaJoie basically said after they're not friends. So well, me either, Austin Cindric. We're not friends right now. So
blocking is only blocking when you're actually blocking. At some point you're just being a dick. Some point you are just driving around to drive around, and that's what he was doing. So your car lift unfortunately only got a couple of pumps up there.
But hey, 290 plus 800, that pays for the rest of the car lift. So it's worth taking the ride. It's sweating that 65-1. It makes it worth it.
Yeah. No, and listen, again, an 8-1, this is what we're talking about. It's just a matter of which ones you actually hit, right? Which of the plus 200s, plus 400s.
That's why you take these, because you throw out the Allmendinger top 5 and you just miss it, so you got to pay for it, but you've got this 8-1 to fall back on, and you've got the matchups like the Bowman over Larson that kind of cover you a little bit. You take your sprinkles on the top Toyotas, you miss them, yes, but you're taking these because you're going to try and hit some. We got so close to cashing so many big ones this week, and if you bet on this race, if you kind of lost it, and it's I don't know if I want to keep doing this again. Super speedways, so take it easy at Atlanta next week, because it's gonna be the same story again. We're gonna be talking about a lot of the same stuff, but then once we get into the normal weeks, it's gonna be a lot different. You're gonna be a little more confident making plays, making picks. Whereas right now we're making picks with confidence, but you've seen the wrecks, you've seen how it can happen, you see what goes on. That's just not a normal week to week. So keep that in mind as you go through this. But shout out to Corey LaJoie, my guy, that beautiful Chili's car for cashing that for us.
Yeah, and for the thousands of you that have joined us since we actually have gunned this Daytona 500 in season 3, whew, thank you. Again, stick with us. Super speedway racing, it's fun until it sucks, and then it doesn't. So
what was the Joey Logano quote?
Oh, it's fun until it sucks.
It's fun until it sucks. Yeah, exactly. And after you mentioned that he said that, I tweeted that out from our NASCAR gambling account, because it was perfect. It's fun until it sucks, and that sums up super speedway betting more than anything.
Yeah, so stick with us as these normal mile and a half start to creep into the schedule. We'll have more, because again, super speedway, you need
that for the intro. We've got to add that into the.
Oh, I will. Believe me, I'll cut that.
That's a must. I mean, the Jesus, the pedal till I hit Jesus or whatever. That one probably needs to go in there too, but the Logano quote needs to go in there for sure.
Yeah, that's 100% going in. Cody, what was the car number that won?
Rod's back on it. He redeemed himself, missed it in the truck race, nails it in this one. The number god himself back at it.
I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
William Byron finishes the race as number 1st.
He is.
And he was number 24.
Yeah, and I had over 21.5 at plus 170. I told you guys I was, that number was too much for at plus 170 to go for. So too many heavy hitters. William Byron was I definitely thought a different number over 21.5 was going to win, but I'll still take 24. I thought it was going to be 22 or at least, what was it, 84. But 24 I'll take. That was over 21.5 at plus 170. Not the sexiest of numbers, but it definitely is a good plus money for you.
Yeah. It hits at plus 170. Again, you pointed that out, right? That was, you're getting value on a number when there's any number of guys over the number that could cash the bet for you. And that it did. So my winners, obviously I had the Corey LaJoie, but also had Kyle Busch 16-1. I mean, it was, first of all, the narrative got ruined, right? Where they didn't run the race on the 18th. So that kind of voids it anyways, but he was fast. It was a backup car. Didn't matter. To the front. He would go to the back. He'd get back to the front. The tire did not get put on. He drove 2.5 miles around the track carefully so it would not fall with an unsecured tire. It wasn't even unsecured. There was no lug nut. And he gets all the way back around, still in the mix throughout the night. Obviously doesn't walk away with it. So Bubba Wallace, 20-1, ends up finishing 5th after he runs out of fuel. So maybe if he doesn't run out of fuel, he really has a better chance at this, I think. He's another guy that just continues to show up and be there when it counts in these 500s. Ross Chastain, 30-1. I mean, he was the leader with 8 to go when we got that last restart. So you can't ask for much more than that, right? He was in the mix. It was good value. And then Riley Herbst 85-1 was a long shot. I don't know that Riley ever had a chance. He had a chance to win this Xfinity race. I don't think he ever really had a chance to win the Cup Series race. Just wasn't quite up there. That's one where you needed more chaos, right? Only 5 cautions. You really only had 3 wrecks. Makes it a lot tougher. You needed some more cars, more attrition earlier, and then Riley's in a smaller group at the end to kind of hit that one. So that was kind of really the only outright that I felt like I missed on in this, because LaJoie was right there. Kyle Busch was there the whole day. Bubba was there even at the end. Ross was there with 8 to go. And then the Herbst one. So felt like that was a pretty solid card. Again, didn't hit any of these, which does suck, but on the right track with these, that's when you start hitting them. We've had our big hits in the past. We've got more coming in the future. If the thought process is right, if you can see why you made that decision and how it paid off for you, then that's really what you're looking for. And that's the reason we do these recaps, because we can look back at it and be like, why did you take that bet? Or what about it? And these were good bets. So I'm happy with it. Unfortunately, obviously did not have William Byron, so that part sucks, but still really close on a few of these. And that's what you want with super speedway bets.
Well, and again, you hit on it too. This is why we do the recaps, because a lot of folks out there they'll give the picks and then they won't they'll come back and they may take some accountability for it. But we're here, we talk through it, and we have guys like Daryl ask us, why did you make that pick? And we'll tell you exactly why we made that pick, right? And why it didn't hold up. Because at the end of the day, again, it's fun to win money yourself, but we're ultimately here trying to get you to win a little money. And if you didn't, then you want to know why. And we're the ones that told you to do it. So Daryl saying, love the cast, start drinking Miller Lite. Thank you very much, but no. And then Nick Fortune says, shout out to Kyle Busch. Hey, he would definitely.
Dude, that tire, I mean, I don't know that there's anybody else in the field that nurses that car around without the tire falling off.
Yeah, that dude can pass a driver's test.
It's
something awful.
Yeah, and Myron Austin Hill turning into this generation's Dale Sr. Hey, he might be in that 3 car next year, to be honest with you. That's kind of where the rumors are pointing. He's re-signed with RCR long term. Sounds like maybe there's some plans to get him in that 3 car. I don't know that he's Dale Sr. just yet, but dude, it's Xfinity Series. I mean, we've seen it before, right? Justin Haley did the same thing where he just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. And Austin Hill is doing it even more to a degree, because, I mean, we're going to Atlanta next week. He might be like plus 140. Like, he's going to start looking like Max Verstappen to win these races, and we're not going to be able to bet on it. We'll talk about it next week. You just cannot bet a number that low. There's too many things that can go wrong, but you've got to keep in mind that he's probably going to win these fucking races because he's so goddamn good. It's crazy.
He's getting crazy. All right, my outrights for the 500, I had Logano at 14-1, Bell at 22-1, Jimmy at 70-1. Look, Logano, screw it. I don't care. I'd do it again. I would do it again in a heartbeat. That dude was fast. He was fast all goddamn day. He was going to win this race. He was going to be able to be the guy that came from the back to the front 1.5 million times to win this race. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen. Started out of the pole. Although, I tell you what, for a half a second there, I was like, you know what? Damn it, this sucks. I picked 2 of the 4 or 5 fastest cars already out of the box, right? They win the duel. I'm like, man, screw this. Now I'm done, because there's no way they're going to stay up the front that long. Well, Logano did all day, and then Christopher Bell finishes 3rd. I'm guarantee you that if that race would have gone a little bit more, we would have had an opportunity maybe to see Bell kind of fight his way back in there too, because he was doing pretty damn good at the end as well. He managed to get out of a lot of trouble and managed to weave his way out of some danger to finish 3rd. I mean, Christopher Bell, you would have taken him for gone earlier in the race after he got caught up in that little melee that he got caught up in. You pretty much wrote him off, and then he managed to find his way back through again. But this is why we talk about super speedway racing all the time. The wild card of being able to, you can fall all the way back to the 34th position like Denny Hamlin did, be 1 car ahead of Jimmy Johnson, who was not even on the lead lap, still find his way in the mix in the top 5 when it matters. Of course, he, obviously got taken out, Denny Hamlin, but by the same token, Christopher Bell was in that same mess, right? He was running around in the 20s for a while. He was running around in the 25s. All of a sudden, at the end of the race, he's 3rd. And honestly, if you really weren't paying attention to the pylon, you would have looked up and been like, shit, where did Christopher Bell come from? Because
to be honest, when I saw the results, I'm like, Christopher Bell's third. I was like, that must be one of those things where like they don't really know what's going on, and like he just randomly got put in there, and I was like, oh shit, he was actually right there. So
he was there.
he snuck up on you. But hey, that was a great call by you on Logano. I mean, you were on Logano again. We gave these picks last Monday. It's been a full week ago. Great call by you early. Obviously, a very fast Ford sits it on the pole first. I think that was the first Penske pole at Daytona, which is crazy.
Ever.
Which
and the first non-Hendrick pole in
because Hendrick's owned it for 40 years, but so Penske hasn't really had any chances. But yeah, it gets on the pole, and then the Bell call was great. Jimmy, obviously, it's hard to tell, right? I mean, 3 laps in, he takes damage. You're kind of limited there. He looked really good in the duels. His number had dropped. I mean, he was like 35-1, 40-1 before this race. So people were believing in it. His number came down from that. So again, good calls. I don't think we really missed on any of these. Obviously, we didn't hit them, but oh boy, that's brutal. They moved Anderson to 4th place. JDK is saying,
still top 5 though.
It is top 5 for I think Nick had him top 3 though, didn't he?
And so did Nick. Yeah, so did Nick and yeah.
Oh, Nick's was top 5. Okay.
Yeah, Nick was top 5. So we're still good. Everybody that bet top 5 on Anderson is still good. So speaking of that Xfinity race, we just watched Austin Hill win that race, and he did cash the top 3 bet for us at plus 110. So way to start out that card.
Yeah, great call by you. I was trying to find. Do you have a list of the results?
Yeah. Oh, they don't. Well, let's see. Yeah. So, anyways, Austin Hill just winning that one. Ended up cashing that plus 110. And we talked about it too. We talked about Austin Hill being so damn good. I don't know why neither one of us took him as an outright. I just feel like the number was the wrong one.
The numbers, yeah. I'm strongly against betting that low of a number.
Didn't I say something about that though? Didn't I say something about go ahead and
you did? You did.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Because I was even against you taking him in the top 3 just because.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, it doesn't feel good. And like I think Nick had said in here earlier, he got Denny Hamlin was a top 10 at minus 140 or something, and like that seems like it should be such a lock because Denny's so good. But look, Denny didn't finish in the top 10, and so you're. Myron, that worked out for Myron. Myron had Retzlaff top 3 at 12-1. Let's fucking go, buddy.
Nice.
Nice. There you go. So yeah, I don't know. Here's that's not even. Can we get some updated results? That's the problem with trying to do this too quick.
Well, that and of course, I mean the melee, the chaos of the last lap itself was not necessarily all that fantastic. So anyway, so we know, look, we know some of these. We know Herbst didn't finish inside of the top 5.
Yeah, at Herbst top 5. Well, maybe he did because he's 6th.
That's true.
Who knows? But plus 275 again. If it wasn't for that late penalty, he's probably cashing this. And really, he might be the one that can stop Austin Hill from winning this. So we'll probably look to be back on him again next week. Jordan Anderson top Chevy. We talked about it as it unfolded there. Luckily, some of you took the advice. You got in on him on the top 5 instead. Great call by you. I had him 40-1. Obviously, Austin Hill finishes in front of him. But the reason you take a guy like Jordan Anderson, top Chevy, is because you think he's going to be finishing up front. You're getting a bigger number, right? And these guys had good numbers on his top 5s, but a really big number of 40-1. And if Riley Herbst wins that, if Ryan Sieg wins that, and then Jordan Anderson's 2nd or 3rd place, you still can cash on that. So it definitely had a chance late. Obviously, Austin Hill had to ruin it for us. But Jordan Anderson, it was the right call to get him in there. And Larry Mack wasn't even his crew chief tonight because Larry Mack had to be back in Charlotte for the Xfinity or for the Cup Series broadcast for Daytona. So he had a different crew chief. So I'm going to blame it on that and say he probably would have won if Larry Mack was there.
I mean, listen, he could have. I mean, you don't know what call he would have made there at the end. So I definitely agree with you on that one. All right. I had Justin Allgaier as a top 3 car. I'm so mad at that last lap. That would have been it. I 100% think that would have been it. Allgaier was running around somewhere in that top part of it, and then the last couple of cautions kind of took him out of it, and then, of course, that last thing took him completely out of it. So, damn it, Allgaier, man. He had a fast car all day. He was up front at certain points. He was in the front pack. He
really did spin himself out weirdly, which was...
Yeah, that was weird. Well, but no, listen, because it was Cole Custer was dodging a piece of debris, and they were both trying to side draft each other at the same time, unfortunately, and that's kind of what happened. So, yeah, it wasn't necessarily the best idea for him to do that when he did. So, Oh, well.
Here's JDK's got us hooked up with the actual finishing results.
In the
Riley Herb's
Discord.
still
Good
in
job.
6th, unfortunately. So thanks, JDK. I had David Starr. David Starr qualified 29th for the race. Just kidding. David Starr's car was illegal. Not qualified for the race, so he did not race. So that sucked. So he didn't have a chance to cash. I mean, who knows what would have happened, right? These were the really long shots. Top 5 was 25-1. Top Ford was 18-1, and only took that because a very limited amount of Fords. And Riley Herbst finishes in 6th, Rod, and then Cole Custer's the next one at 13th. So, maybe he comes in with a 6th place finish and bumps Riley to 7th, cashes that. Who knows? We didn't find out because Carl Long is yet again cheating another time. So, same story, different week. So, whatever. Hopefully, those bets got voided for you.
I hope so too. But you also had another top 4 bet, didn't you?
I had the Frankie Muniz one I had talked about, but remember they had him listed on a Chevrolet. I never actually saw a top Ford bet for Muniz. So, and
unfortunately, got stuck in the middle of.
Malcolm was in the middle of one of those wrecks, and
shout out to
things
Mikey.
Did not turn out very well for him. So
Michael Waltrip stealing our Discord jokes.
Yes.
So not that it wasn't like low hanging fruit, anyways, but whatever. All right, I had Haley Deegan as a top 5 car. She got taken out, man. 14. She ran into the 14 and the 15 in a melee, right at one after the other. So
yeah. Myron wants to know if it's time to hop off the Deegan train. If you're in the Discord, I'm on the Deegan train.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for over there. But no, it's a super speedway. Let's give her a few weeks on regular tracks and see what goes on. And it wasn't really her fault. She just got caught up in it. Shit happens. I mean, shout out to Natalie Decker too, by the way. She led, I think, 7 laps in that race. It was great. Yes, it was on strategy calls again and stuff, but look at that strategy worked out for them. I don't know where she actually ended up finishing. Ryan Ellis ends up 11th. He was part of that group. Natalie's 18th. That's a really good run for a team that is very small, that doesn't bring a lot of great equipment. She's on the border of making these races. 18th place, leading 7 laps. That is a hell of an accomplishment for someone like that. So I did want to shout her out. We didn't have any bets on her or anything, but big shout out to her for sure on that. I had Sage Karam, top Toyota, 6-1. Boy, this was looking good late. It was looking real good. It definitely had its chances. Karam ended up getting, where did he ended up falling to 28th because he was in that second to last accident. And so really it doesn't look like it at the end, but he was top 5 when we jumped on this broadcast. He was still racing up in the, up in there. So 6-1, again, limited Toyota field. You do end up with 3 Toyotas in the top 7, so they ended up having a solid day. But there was only 5 Toyotas in the field. So was it really? Yeah, only 5 Toyotas actually made the race. We had the 4 JGRs and then his Toyota. So again, I would probably take that one again. And it had been 12-1 when I put it in the doc. By the time we got to the show, it was 6-1. So it had dropped a little, but I think there was still good value there. He was doing really great late, gets caught up in it. Shit happens.
Well, the same with you as the same with me as Ryan Truex Jr. as the top Toyota at plus 320. He too was in the mix. It was him and Sage Karam. In fact, it was Truex there for a hot second. That was the highest finishing Toyota in that race as well. Unfortunately, again, Sheldon Creed kind of snatched it out of both of them. Chandler Smith as well. And then, Truex kind of got caught up in the mix as well. But it was Truex, it was Karam, it was all these folks that were up front, and then all of a sudden, guys like Nemechek.
That's funny because they end up being the worst 2 Toyotas on the finishing board. But, coming into the closing laps, they were the best 2 Toyotas in the race. So, again, it's the result is not – the actual on-paper result is not always indicative of the whole story. So I think that's important to paint. And that goes for the Ryan Sieg car lift because, man, it was perfect. It was great. And we almost ran all the way up the car lift. Now, unfortunately, we didn't hit any of these because, as you heard live on the show earlier, he wrecked the last lap. Could we have just brought the caution flag out a little sooner? I don't know. We did it in the Cup race. We hit the button not soon enough, but very soon. So, but man, he really had a shot here. Top 5 plus 750. Look, I mentioned in the Discord all weekend, he was he was the slowest fucking car in qualifying. It was ridiculous how slow he was. And I said, does not matter. You're going to see him lead laps. And guess where he was at the end of this fucking race? Up front the whole time because that's what Ryan Sieg does. Now, hopefully this result gives us these numbers again next week because we'll be right back to this car lift. We might just copy and paste these sheets and fill in the numbers next week because we had so many good bets this week that were so freaking close. But Ryan C killed it today. Top 5 plus 750. Obviously, doesn't cash in the end. 17-1 if he'd have stayed in the top 3. 75-1 to win. So close, Rod. So close. That's all right. We're going to come back for it next week. But again, right call because you saw him. He was in the mix there. He was very fast at the end and really had a shot to get it done. And just got caught up in that last lap crash there, unfortunately.
And wouldn't you rather be saying at the end of it that you're so close on a 75-1 than like, oh yeah, we took a 75-1 and oh yeah, he really didn't compete. No, 75-1 literally almost had a shot to win at the end of the race. So that was fantastic. Stephen Williams saying Herbst rolled from 18 to 6. Not a stupid penalty. What happens? Well,
that's what I said a few minutes ago. He's probably the one who could have beat. He's probably the one who could have beat Austin Hill if he doesn't get the fucking penalty. And I don't understand these. I mean, I get it. It's in the heat of the competition, but I'm sitting here watching and I'm like, he's holding back too far. You could see it happening. What are you doing, man? But
he did hang back way too much. I had the winning car number under 18.5 at -120.
You got Austin Hilled.
Austin Hilled. Sheldon Creed was right behind him at 18. Retzlaff, Jordan, they were both at 31 and 32. Chandler Smith
Sieg and Herbst would have both cashed this had they stayed up there.
Yep. I got hurt. I got Austin Hill. That was it. My bad.
Yep.
Like I said, I thought Allgaier or Custer was going to win. And Cody, where the hell were they at the end? Oh, they took each other out. Stupid.
Yeah, it happens. But I think it was Will Rainey in the chat when we were talking about, he came in and popped in right away. And can anybody stop Austin Hill? And apparently the answer is no, because again, we saw it, which is just unfortunate. For winners, I had AJ Allmendinger 12-1. I don't know. He really had a chance to win this race late. He got caught up in that wreck earlier, but he recovered and had a decent finish. I mean, he ends up in. I thought he had a decent finish. Where did he end up? Maybe he didn't have it.
He ended up in 10th.
That's a solid finish for what happened to him earlier in the race. Herbst 25-1, obviously almost cashed. Brandon Jones was right there in that mix. I mean, he ends up 9th, but he had, he was in the top 5 in those closing laps. Jordan Anderson 60-1 obviously was really close. I had Riley Herbst. I gave him out to win both races, and that was a crazy parlay. And he almost won this one, so had his chance for sure. Again, looking at this card to win, Sieg, Dinger, Herbst, Jones, Anderson, you can't really say that any of these were bad picks. They were all in the mix at the end. That's what you want. You want to have that chance on these. And man, it sucks to be so close and not hit them, but at the same time, it makes you feel good because the process was right. The research was right. It all pointed that way and worked out. Kevin S. heavy on Allmendinger this weekend, scored 2 top 10s. Hopefully you had his top 10s and not his top 5 numbers because, man.
Yeah, that's the frustrating.
Again, it goes to the point of he is very good on super speedways, and yet again, it paid off. Yet again, he was hanging around there. He was leading laps late in the 500. He was up in the mix in the Xfinity race. He's just a guy that you're going to continue to see up there. And lucky for us, this is all going to be fresh in our mind going into next week. Now we've seen it. Some of these guys didn't get these good results. You hope that's what the books are looking at, and they give us Sieg again so we can run the same car lift again next week. And then he's up there mixing it up, and they're like, "Oh, look at this small family-owned team. His dad's in the thing watching him. Wow, look at how good he's doing on the super speedway." And it's like, we saw it coming, man. We did.
And listen, for the most part, when we gave out these, in fact, all 5 of our outrights had an opportunity to hit. That's what I'm saying. Like Allgaier, Custer, and then all of your 3 as well. They were all in the mix all day long. And so, again, did it pan out? No. But again, we kind of knew that Austin Hill was a favorite for a reason. It's just tough to bet it. And if he suffered more damage in the beginning, now again, we could do the whole thing. If someone said so,
he was in the wreck. That's the thing. That's the thing. So if you think that you're just going and you bet Austin Hill at plus 240, and then he's in that wreck and he's done, that if his car looks more like Love's car does, he ain't winning that race.
Yeah.
It's not like he was.
We didn't even talk about Jesse Love.
Shout out to Love. He looked good early, but
did
Rod, these young guys.
I know. We talked about it. We knew. This is why we didn't have Love on our card at all. We knew he's going to be a good We know he's going to be a good driver.
Well, I think I gave him out. I think I gave him out on the Underdog extra picks we talked about
yes, that's right.
on the Saturday bonus show. So that wraps it up. I think covered all the races. You go back and listen to the Saturday episode if you want to hear the truck recap. We talked about that there when it was more fresh. Shit, that was like a week ago at this point. Schedule might be a little messed up this week.
It's gonna be.
I mean, generally we're gonna have Cup picks on Tuesday afternoon. They just finished the Cup race. What was it, 4 hours ago, if that? So we're probably not gonna have odds out yet. We might just kind of be a day behind on everything. We do have all 3 series in action. Trucks and Xfinity will be a Saturday doubleheader. Cup will be on Sunday. Rod, I looked. The forecast, at least for now, knock on wood, looks okay. Maybe we'll actually get a normal race weekend in. Probably not. I'm sure it'll change between now and then. But we're doing the same thing again. It's super speedway racing. It's Atlanta. It's going to be all the same spiel. It's going to be a lot of the same players for the same reasons. But we got to see what the odds the books give us. Got to see how it works out and what we can craft up and come up with the hit next week and make it all back.
We'll do exactly that. Again, just keep an eye out on the Discord for sure and our Twitter and all the social media platforms. We may not have an episode tomorrow because of the fact that we may not get odds. So just hang tight.
My guess would be we're probably not going to have a full slate of Cup odds in time for tomorrow. Maybe we'll be here for an F1 gambling podcast. I know there's some IndyCar win totals out there we need to cover, so maybe we'll jump on and be able to talk about that. But you're going to get your 3 pick shows. We'll have all 3 series covered. You get your DFS, probably toss in an Underdog. I guess we got the DFS Underdog will probably be together. I don't really know what's going on, but it's late.
I was going to say,
I got up for work early this morning because this Xfinity race was supposed to be at 10 a.m.
I know.
And then it does, which actually I kind of liked it better this way anyways, but
honestly, I was up way early this morning as well. So but for me, it's only 9:30. For you guys out there on the East Coast, kudos to you for staying up.
It's 11:30 for me now, and I got to work tomorrow. So
so we need to get you to bed.
That's how it goes. That's what we do. It's what we're here for. Fucking love it. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Not either.
We're back. We were so close on some really big ones this week. Shout out to those of you who had big tickets. Shout out to you to those of you that cashed any bets. We'll be back to get it next week. We're on to Atlanta. I think that's what Bill Belichick would say. We'll see you again later this week.
Yeah, Cody's about to turn into a pumpkin, so we need to let him go. So before we do, Cody, let everybody know where they can find you and all of your fantastical analysis on social media.
Follow me on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can see me yelling in full caps at Fox about how Chase Elliott drove the 24 car and was the successor to Jeff Gordon, and a lot of other more useful things over there too. So check that out. And then, thanks. This week blew our minds. Insane. I mean, the number is crazy. To see the amount of people in the we'll do the contest giveaway later this week. I need to go through and make sure I believe we had the 2 winners. So we'll do a tiebreaker and figure all that out. So stay tuned for that. Come back but great week. So thank you everyone. We appreciate it. We'll be back to do it again next week.
Most successful week this week. Yeah. Most successful week in our history. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it and continue to do so through the rest of the season. Don't let it stop with Daytona. I know it's the famous one. I know it's the Super Bowl of all things, but keep going with us. We'll definitely have some fun all season long. Follow me on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the about everything I got going on, whether it's here, check me out on the In Between Media's back road. And then of course, Sportsbook Review will have some big races going on there. All right, guys, we'll see you again when the odds drop. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.